Hello, my gorgeous friends. So, I'm here to give you a little bit of deeper understanding of why, as a human species, we've somewhere lost the whole essence of divinity within us, and we are generating and functioning our lives more from the animal instinct when truly when you understand the framework of life, we are the most superior and intelligent species on the planet, and the creator or the divine god created us with an essence of his own imagery in his mind. But then, as we are living our lives, somewhere we've kind of forgotten the divinity within us. We've embodied more of the animal instinct. So, what really happened to us that we've lost this grip on the divine being or the light within us? So, when you understand the framework of human behavior, what really manages our behavior is our psychological aspect. And our psychology starts getting framed right when we are in our mother's womb. Um, and if you understand the framework of human beings, we're all very vibrational beings. We are energy at the grassroots of where our existence is. Everything in the universe is energy, and we are nothing but a form of energy. And more than before we get the physical body, we get our energy body, which defines us by our emotions. So, what I'm trying to tell you here is we have two bodies. We have the physical body, which is made up of matter, the one that we can see, touch, and feel. And the second body is our energy body, or we call it the prana body, and that is defined by our emotions. Even before our physical bodies are developed in our mother's womb, our energy body is already pre-scripted, and it's like the blueprint of our existence. And based on the information in our energy body, our physical body is being formed. So our energy body is carrying the blueprint of how we are going to look, what is the color of our hair, what is the color of our eyes, genetically, who are we going to look like, our mom or our dad. So, all of that defines. And with the new study of epigenetics, it's clearly proven that it is not the genes that define our reality, but it is our environmental conditioning. So, 92% of our behavior, our physical behavior, mental behavior, emotional behavior, is defined by the environment we are in. And when we are in our mother's womb, and we are a little fetus, and we're growing, our body is growing at the pace of faster than the pace of light. The environment, the emotional environment in the womb starts programming us with information in our energy body. In other words, I would like to say our DNA. And that information, that emotional information that goes on, becomes the basic foundation of how our psychology is shaped. And that manifests as a genetic destiny, our behavior destiny, and how we will behave in life based on the outer circumstances. And then we end up becoming victims to life. So, what does that really mean? So, let's assume if your mother, when she was pregnant for you, and she had conceived you and was going through her own fears and insecurities, and did not have a great relationship with your father. So constantly she's in the emotion of sadness, fear, anger. Now this energy or this vibration of the emotions of fear, sadness, and anger is being implanted in your cells. Our cells carry cellular memory because our cells are made up of water, and water molecules do carry memory. So these vibrations are stored as an information. So there is no story there, there's no language there, but it's a vibration. It's a vibration of fear, it's a vibration of anger, it's a vibration of sadness. Suppose if your mother conceived you, and your parents had thoughts that we would want to give this child away to our uncle or auntie. So now the child experiences vibrations of abandonment. And if you were an accident pregnancy, and they had thoughts, only thoughts of aborting you. So then that fear of rejection gets implanted as a basic foundational feeling. And when you come out of your mother's womb, you're born with these auto programmed vibrations. You have no language to it. You don't know why you're feeling that way. You don't know why you feel fear all the time. You don't know why you are sad all the time. Now, this information that is programmed becomes the basis and the foundation of our existence, and it starts framing our psychology and our thoughts based on that information. So every emotion that we feel in our body is nothing but a chemical release from our brain. And these chemicals are released based on the quality of thoughts that we are thinking. So basically, your thoughts act as a command to generate or produce these chemicals. So if you have an auto programmed thought of fear all the time, constantly there's this feeling of fear, then your brain perceives a threat and it goes into fight and flight, and it's constantly producing this chemical cortisol and making you more fearful. So it's important we understand that most of our programming, I would say maybe more than 50% of our programming happened before we came into this planet in our mother's womb in the 9 months. And the rest of the programming happens in the 0 to 4 years of our age. And at that time, 0 to 7 years, a child is born with the reactive brain or the self-preservation, the fight and fight brain, but our intelligent brain is not developed. Our cognitive brain, our brain that is responsible for processing information, for logic, for analysis, for reasoning and conclusion, it only starts getting developed after 7 years of age, 7 to 21. And at that age, and from the time of our fetal moments, the core basic survival need of a human species is nurturance, touch, love, and belongingness. Yes, I'm repeating this, my dear friends. Our survival need is not food, not milk. That comes secondary. The primary survival need emotionally, because we are an emotional body that's manifesting into a physical body, so our emotional body needs to be nurtured with belongingness, touch, love, and nurturance. And it's designed by default, or programmed by default, that these survival needs have to be met by both the biological mother and the father for the human species. It's a mandate. And when these emotional needs are not met in the early fetal age and the 0 to 4 years of age, we end up believing that we are not loved. We perceive life as a threat, and we carry all of these emotional wounds and psychological wounds. Yes, every time we were screamed at by our parents and our caregivers, we were given a message we are not good enough. We did not have the freedom to be who we want to be. We did not have the freedom to choose what we wanted to choose as babies. We were shamed for little behaviors that we displayed. We very innocently picked up a message that we are not good enough, and if we have to survive in life, our needs, our emotional needs will not be met, right? And then we pick up a message that to have our emotional needs met, maybe I have to give too much love, I have to go out of my way, and we become people pleasers. It's very important to understand how the psychological aspect of you is shaped when you are just before 4 years old. And when these wounds are so deep rooted and we're carrying so much emotional pain, and we don't know how to handle it, we start developing coping mechanisms that manifest as a behavior, being rigid and stubborn, being in denial of the truth, becoming people pleasers, becoming blamers, becoming self-righteous, my way or highway quality people. And we walk around then as we grow and get into adolescence with all of these fears, all of these auto-programmed messages which are not real. But then how the brain functions is the brain does not work on reality. The brain works on how I perceive information, and this information that was there in my foundation has now become the quality of my emotional state, my mental state, and my emotional body and my mental body decides the fate of my physical body and my spiritual life or my karmic roles and goals. So, my dear friends, it's important that we understand our true divine nature. And it's okay if you got programmed in a certain way, but what's not okay is if you're not doing anything about it. It's time you identify what your damaging behaviors are. We were not designed to damage ourselves with anger, fear, and sadness, guilt, and shame. And the worst thing that we do is we end up projecting or throwing this anger on other people and scarring them. Now, it's important we understand that everybody is carrying their psychological and emotional wounds deep down inside, and they are so deeply. And then there comes a time in our lives when this emotional pain and this psychological pain is so heavy to carry. And I'm talking about the time of adolescence when our mind is very confused and we are identifying with our outside world because we've disconnected with our inner self, our true self, our divine nature. So, how do I like to frame it is we are all born as a piece of God, and we become a piece of dog. So, that age between 14 to 20 is a very confusing age because you've lost the essence of God in you because you environmentally got wired to not believe that you're a God because we were not treated like one. And it's nobody's fault here. And you don't identify yourself with your false identity, the dog identity, the so here when I'm using the word dog, I really don't mean dog, but I just mean like how we get impulsive and reactive and the animal instinct. So just dog is just a metaphor here. And so that we can just relate to this whole concept. So that age between 12 to 18 is so confusing for a child because they've lost their true identity. And one of the core survival needs for our brain or our mind to function is preservation of identity. We do need an identity to exist. So at that moment, children, because they're carrying so much emotional pain, they're looking for places where they could numb their pain, right, and distract themselves. And drugs addiction and alcohol and smoking becomes one of those more very important aspects of their life because they can relate to it. And the moment they're under the substance, their pain, their internal pain is numbed. So it is for us to identify how exactly do human beings function. And trust me, if you understand you, then it's really going to be easy to reprogram you and put yourself in a pedestal of being the creator of your own reality. We were not born to be the victims of our life. We were born to be the creators. Manifestation is our basic birthright. Like we have oxygen all around and energy all around, prana all around. We deserve all the abundance. But the point here is we've never sat down to understand our true framework and what happened to us through our early years of growing up. Another thing I really, really want us to understand is in this whole design of being distorted in our personal realities, it's not anybody's fault. It is not your parents' fault. It is not your environment's fault because they didn't know better. But definitely, it is your responsibility to rewire yourself, understand your true nature, your divine nature, which is deeply hidden inside you, and it's layered with all the darkness. So you have to go through the darkness to find your light. The darkness is all those experiences that you went through, all the pain that you went through. Being in denial of this pain is not going to heal it. So you have to walk through that pain. You have to walk through that trauma once again and give yourself a new story. And that is when the whole game changes. So my dear gorgeous souls, it's time you understand that you are divine and